I watched as the Lamb opened the first of the 7 seals. Then I heard one of the 4 living creatures say in a voice like thunder, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a white horse. Its rider held a bowl, and he was given a crown, and he rode out as a conqueror bent on conquest. The symbolism of the horse in the depiction of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse signifies war. The white horseman symbolizes the United States during World War II, with white traditionally representing righteousness. Notably, the United States' role was defensive and focused on saving others rather than aggression. The bowl as a symbol alludes to long-range warfare, reflecting the need for the United States to engage in battles both across the Atlantic against the Nazis and across the Pacific against the Japanese. Additionally, the crown in this context prophesied the ultimate victory of the United States by the end of the war. When the Lamb opened the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd living creature say, "Come." Then another horse came out, a fiery red one. Its rider was given power to take peace from the earth and to make people kill each other. To him was given a large sword. In Daniel 11 verse 39, he will attack the mightiest fortresses with the help of a foreign god and will greatly honor those who acknowledge him. In this context, the foreign god represents Japan, symbolized by the red horseman. The sword, signifying war and bloodshed, is also emblematic of the Japanese flag, known as the rising sun. During World War II, the Emperor of Japan held the title Tenno Showa, which translates to Showa King of Heaven. Consequently, the monarch and the foreign power, namely Nazi Germany and Japan, formed an axis opposing the United States of America, depicted as the strongest fortress against which they engaged in conflict. When the Lamb opened the 3rd seal, I heard the 3rd living creature say, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a black horse. Its rider was holding a pair of scales in his hand. Then I heard what sounded like a voice among the 4 living creatures, saying, 2 pounds of wheat for a day's wages, and 6 pounds of barley for a day's wages. And do not damage the oil and the wine. Amidst the ongoing Ukraine-Russia conflict, speculation arises linking the black horse of famine, represented by the weighing scale for wheat and barley, to the entities of Rus, Gog, and Magog, potentially leading to a future global war. However, historically, the Black Horseman should be attributed to Joseph Stalin of the USSR, infamous for orchestrating the genocide of over 7 million Ukrainians during the Holodomor in 1932-33. Despite this dark legacy, the USSR played a pivotal role as a major Allied force during World War II. The color black is indicative of the geographical reference to the Black Sea. Furthermore, in Zechariah 6 verse 6, it is mentioned that the Spirit of God rested in the north, correlating with the direction associated with the black horse. There is a strong likelihood that the current Ukraine-Russia conflict may lead to Russia depleting its resources, potentially hindering its involvement in a future global conflict, including a speculated World War III. Consequently, this situation could potentially result in Russia being excluded from the globally enforced trading system associated with the Mark of the Beast. Such positioning may afford Russia the opportunity to endure until the conclusion of the Messianic 1,000 years, paving the way for its resurgence as Gog and Magog, emerging once again as a significant global power. It is noteworthy that geologists have identified evidence of a significant flood in the region of the Black Sea, possibly aligning with the biblical narrative of Noah's flood. Should this connection hold true, the Black Sea region becomes highly significant, as it was where the sons of God were believed to have interbred with human women. This location will then serve as both the origin point for fallen angels and, according to prophecy, their final destiny following the Messianic 1,000 years. When the Lamb opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th living creature say, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a pale horse. Its rider was named Death, and Hades was following close behind him. They were given power over a fourth of the earth to kill by sword, famine, and plague, and by the wild beasts of the earth. The comparison between Hitler and the personification of death in the book of Revelation is a strong one, given the massive and tragic loss of life during World War II for which Hitler and the Nazi regime bear significant responsibility. The figure of death in the book of Revelation is symbolic of destruction and the end of life, which aligns metaphorically with the consequences of Hitler's actions and policies. 19.3 million civilians and prisoners of war killed deliberately by the Nazi regime. and the 28.7 million soldiers and civilians who died due to military action in the European theater underscore the catastrophic impact of the war and the Holocaust. These numbers illustrate the scale of death and destruction that occurred, which is comparable to the symbolic role of death bringing about the end of life on a massive scale, as depicted in religious texts like the Book of Revelation. In Daniel 11 verses 38 to 39, the prophetic passage describes a king who exalts himself above all gods, speaks blasphemies against the God of gods, and achieves prosperity until the time of divine judgment. This king disregards the gods of his ancestors, shows no regard for women's desires, and elevates himself as the supreme authority. Instead, he honors a god of fortresses and worships idols with wealth and precious offerings, relying on a foreign deity to strengthen his military might and expand his dominion through conquest and territorial division. The figure identified as this king is Adolf Hitler, associated with the rider of the Pale Horse, a symbol of death and Hades. When he opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of those who had been slain because of the word of God and the testimony they had maintained. They called out in a loud voice, "How long, sovereign Lord, holy and true, until you judge the inhabitants of the earth and avenge our blood?" Then each of them was given a white robe, and they were told to wait a little longer, until the full number of their fellow servants, their brothers and sisters, were killed just as they had been. The fourth horseman of the apocalypse, Adolf Hitler, is intricately linked to the fifth seal. The souls depicted under the altar symbolize those who were sacrificed. The term Holocaust originates from the Greek holocauston, a translation of the Hebrew word olah, signifying a burnt offering presented whole to God. This name was chosen due to the practice in Nazi extermination camps where victims' bodies were completely incinerated in open fires. Over 6 million Jews endured genocide during the Holocaust in World War II, a fate attributed to a historical declaration, "His blood be on us, and on our children," found in Matthew 27 verse 25. Jesus' foresight of these events can be seen in Luke 23 verses 28 to 29, where he speaks of impending tribulations. Despite these tragic circumstances, the tribes of Israel were subsequently marked with the seal of the living God, leading to the establishment of the State of Israel merely 3 years after the conclusion of World War II. I watched as he opened the sixth seal. There was a great earthquake. The sun turned black like sackcloth made of goat hair, the whole moon turned blood red, and the stars in the sky fell to earth, as figs drop from a fig tree when shaken by a strong wind. The heavens receded like a scroll being rolled up, and every mountain and island was removed from its place. As we delve into the Book of Revelation, a distinct pattern emerges wherein clues regarding events, locations, or figures are often embedded within the text. Much like how the fifth seal alludes to the term Holocaust, the sixth seal, specifically in verse 6:14 mentioning Pan-Oris and Pan-Nisos, provides subtle hints pointing towards Nagasaki and Hiroshima. While Pan is commonly translated as every in most biblical contexts, it can also signify as a whole. Additionally, Oris represents a hill or mountain, while Nisos denotes an island. In Japanese and Chinese, the names Nagasaki and Hiroshima derive their meanings and etymology from specific components. Naga translates to length and Saki signifies a mountain protruding out of the water in Nagasaki. Similarly, Hiroshima consists of Hiro meaning width and Shima representing island. During World War II, the United States dropped atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. On August 6, 1945, the bomb nicknamed Little Boy was detonated over Hiroshima, resulting in immediate devastation, killing an estimated 80,000 people and causing widespread destruction. 3 days later, on August 9, 1945, another atomic bomb, Fat Man, was dropped on Nagasaki, killing approximately 40,000 people and causing further destruction. It was the first time a nuclear weapon had been used in warfare. These bombings led to Japan's surrender and the end of World War II. The atomic bomb simultaneously fulfilled both the sixth seal and the first seal, wherein the first seal depicted the United States of America as the victorious white horseman receiving a crown of triumph. Then the kings of the earth, the princes, the generals, the rich, the mighty, and everyone else, both slave and free, hid in caves and among the rocks of the mountains. They called to the mountains and the rocks, "Fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of their wrath has come, and who can withstand it?" In precise accordance with the prophecies laid out in the book of Revelation, following this apocalyptic event, global panic ensued, prompting a widespread movement toward the construction of nuclear bunkers during the Cold War era, a period of intense geopolitical tension between the United States and the Soviet Union. These shelters were designed to protect civilians from the aftermath of a nuclear attack, specifically from radioactive fallout. The concept of fallout shelters gained prominence during the 1950s and 1960s, with governments, communities, and individuals constructing various types of shelters to provide a degree of protection in the event of a nuclear conflict. Then I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000 from all the tribes of Israel. In summary, without the context of World War II, including the Holocaust, the weakening of colonial powers, and the post-war geopolitical landscape, it's unlikely that the State of Israel would have been established in 1948. The war and its aftermath played a crucial role in shaping the conditions that led to the creation of Israel. Many scholars of eschatology view the establishment of Israel in 1948, just 3 years after World War II, as a pivotal sign of the impending apocalypse. This event is considered by numerous experts to represent a major covenant from the Old Testament, wherein God promises the final regathering of the Israelites to their promised land after a period of exile and punishment, as stated in Ezekiel 11 verse 17. "I will gather you from the nations and bring you back from the countries where you have been scattered, and I will give you back the land of Israel again." In this interpretation, as Jesus is portrayed as the figure who unveils the scroll containing the 7 seals, symbolizing the events of World War II, and as a consequence of these events, the State of Israel was established in 1948. Hence, there is an implication that Jesus bears responsibility for the inception of the new State of Israel. This suggests a fulfillment of New Testament prophecy wherein Jesus is seen as fulfilling an old covenant regarding the Messiah's role in the eventual restoration of Israel and the gathering of the Jewish diaspora.
It is the glory of God to conceal a matter. To search out a matter is the glory of kings. Proverbs 25:2, Parousia Chronicles. 3 decades ago my life changed forever when I encountered a radiant presence, our Lord Jesus. The room was aglow with supernatural light, and I wept tears of joy as if reunited with a long-lost parent. This divine encounter marked the beginning of an extraordinary journey. A few months later, while reading the book of Revelation, I experienced my first apocalyptic vision, the Gulf War, vividly confirming prophecy. In 1997, the discovery of the Bible code revolutionized my life. Suddenly I could see the future, predicting events from U.S. presidential elections to local derbies. This knowledge was both a blessing and a curse, offering immense wealth and profound responsibilities. The code revealed secrets behind Elon Musk's Mars ambitions, Michael Drosnin's treasure map, and most importantly, the Messianic Code detailing the Second Coming and God's technological solutions since Genesis. On April 11, 1996 and 1997, Comet Hale-Bopp converged with Comet Hyakutake, forming a cross over the star Algol, known as Satan's head. This cosmic event echoed Jesus' crucifixion at Golgotha. On that day, Satan fell, targeting the only forensic evidence of the crucifixion, a marvel that will one day prove Jesus' resurrection and possibly reveal resurrection technology. Understanding Revelation became like knowing the season finale of a grand epic. It unveiled God's master plan against Satan, from the beginning to the end, explaining the roles of nations like China, Russia, the Arab nations, the US and Israel in this divine narrative. China, like an ancient serpent, laid a trap with its One Belt One Road initiative, but God's counterplan will strike at the appointed time. My journey led me from Silicon Valley to the remote war-torn border zones of the Golden Triangle. Guided by the Spirit, my team and I performed prophetic acts, such as proclaiming the Lord's trumpet of destruction, which culminated in the crumbling of Chiang Mai's ancient city wall on the Feast of Trumpets. Join me in the Parousia Chronicles on a profound journey of spiritual and physical transformation that impacts the world's destiny. This is not just a prophetic account but a deeply personal testimony, revealing divine intervention, global conspiracies, and the ultimate triumph over evil. Witness the fusion of cutting-edge technology and spiritual revelations, uncover hidden mysteries, and explore a narrative of resilience, faith and divine guidance in the face of impending doom. Thairak Tung Pagasit, a devout born-again Christian and astute business entrepreneur from the vibrant city of Bangkok, Thailand, brings a captivating blend of spirituality and strategic insight to the enigmatic realm of eschatology. With nearly 3 decades of dedicated scholarship and a postgraduate qualification from Western Seminary, Tun Pagasit's pragmatic approach to spirituality yields tangible and exponential earthly results, setting him apart as a visionary in his field. Renowned for his uncanny accuracy, Tun Pagasit's predictions in geopolitical scenarios have left observers astounded. From foreseeing the outcomes of the contentious U.S. presidential elections of 2000 and 2016, to prophesying the signing of the Paris Accord in 2016, his insights, deeply rooted in the chronological tapestry of the Book of Revelation, illuminate his profound understanding of biblical prophecy. Moreover, Tun Pagasit's mastery of Bible code analysis unveils hidden truths and deciphers outcomes with startling precision, encompassing global events and even local sports competitions. His prowess extends to the realm of spiritual warfare, where he has executed exorcisms and wielded his faith to perform awe-inspiring prophetic acts, including the dramatic collapse of an ancient city shrine wall in Chiang Mai, reminiscent of the legendary fall of Jericho's walls. As a preacher of the prosperity gospel, Tun Pagasit's thriving pharmaceutical brand, Wofo Balm, stands as a tangible testament to his unwavering beliefs. Currently, he and his wife divide their time between the vibrant landscapes of Sacramento, California, and the bustling streets of Bangkok, Thailand, where they continue to ignite inspiration through their faith-driven entrepreneurial endeavors. In his debut English tome, Parousia Chronicles, Tun Pagasit boldly places his prophetic prowess on the line, offering specific and meticulous chronological predictions for major world events in geopolitics, economics, and religion. Over half a century of spiritual transformation, he fervently believes God has unlocked the key for him to unraveling all spiritual truths, poised to catalyze a profound shift in humanity's collective consciousness, heralding the dawn of a new era.